Losing money in property. What happens if you sell an investment property at a loss? How much do you actually lose and do you really lose money? I'm SK and I want to share more about this very interesting topic because I actually helped one client sell her one-bedroom property at a 70K loss. But after going through all her numbers, she actually made a bit of profit. But of course, this profit she made is not a good investment. But the main point is that she also didn't lose money in this investment. So this video will be very useful as I'll be offering you a different perspective of things for buyers who are still sitting on the fence looking at properties. Because the concern is that what if I buy a property and the property price drop? I'll be losing money. So this video will help to answer some of your questions. What I want to focus on are the numbers and how much do you actually gain or lose if your property is actually sold at a loss. Loss is one thing, but there are other factors as well, such as rental yield that will contribute to your profit and profit or loss. So today I want to talk about a project that isn't doing very well. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to mention the project name or the location. This project launched in 2013 and TOP between 2016 to 2017. As for why they make a loss, you can drop me a message and find out more. But we are not going to talk about why the project is losing money. So you can see over here, right, over a 10-year period, there are actually 70 profitable transactions and 83 negative sales. A few things I want to highlight here is that most of the profitable transactions don't actually make money as well, because if you factor in things such as interest rate, stamp duty, lawyer fee, agent fee, they actually lose money lah. But there are some that still make money. For example, this $534,000 gross profit unit, this is an 840 square feet unit. So even for projects that don't make money, if you enter at the right quantum, you can still make money. Like this buyer over here, he bought in 2014, 1 year after launch. So highly likely is that the developer gave a discount for this unit. But what I want to talk about today are losses. So I'll take this unit over here, 893 square feet. So this is a 3-bedroom dual key unit with a negative sale of $121,000. This unit was bought at 1518 PSF, so the purchase price works out to be about 1.355 million. So I'm going to do a breakdown and list down all the money that came out of the owner's pocket and money that goes back in. So you can see over here, based on 1.355 million, his total cash CPF down payment 25% will be about $338,000, $338,750. Buyer stamp last time was around 3%, so now it's much higher already. Last time it was 35,250. So I'm going to make a few assumptions over here. I will assume that the owner takes maximum loan of 75%, 30-year term loan. So for this example, right, I'm going to assume interest rate from 2013 to 2018 to be about 1.5%. And just a bit of context, this project launched in 2013 Q1 and TOP in Q2 2016. So it's about 3 years and 3 months between launch to date of TOP that they took to construct. So over here, I have a breakdown of the numbers. So all these are just estimates. You will never be 100% correct. So even if you buy a condo today and you do all the breakdown and everything, it might not be accurate unless you really monitor every month of what is going on. So imagine today if you go to a new launch and buy, you make within the 8 weeks period, right, you pay a down payment of 20% plus buyer stamp duty and lawyer fee. So subsequently after that, the next payment will be 9 months later. Usually it's about 9 months later. That is where foundation is caught. So when foundation is caught, you pay another 5% from your down payment, and then the bank will disperse 5% of the bank loan if you take a maximum loan. So for this case, the 5% bank loan, right, it will be about $234 a month. So out of this $234, right, $85 is monthly interest paid to just purely interest. And the principal amount paid to the loan is $149. So every month you'll be taking $149 off the loan that you are paying. So after the foundation, right, the next thing will be framework. Usually framework, wall, ceiling, door, and windows, they'll all lump together. This, for example, the developer built block by block, right? So for example, block 80, once they finish everything, the developer will call for payment. So they'll call for framework, wall, etc., all this all together. So it will be about 20 to 25%. So at this point, about 6 months later, you'll be paying, for his case, he'll be paying about $1,400 a month, 500 to interest, and the rest to the bank. I mean to the principal amount. Then after that, it will be car park. Usually when car park is caught, it's going to be very close to TOP already. So car park will take about 3 to 6 months before the TOP. So in this case, car park, you'll be paying about close to $600 to interest and $1,000 to the principal amount. Then after that, it will be TOP ready lah. So when TOP happens, the bank will disperse another 25%. So this is where you start to pay more towards the mortgage loan. So usually when it project TOPs, right, you'll take batches to disperse the keys to the owner. So once you collect your key, usually there'll be a downtime about 2 to 3 months because the unit is spare. You need to do defect check, and after defect check, the developer will rectify. At the same time, you need to install lights to the house, and if you want to do some simple renovation, you also can do lah. So after TOP, it'll be about 9 months before CSC. So within this period, it's a warranty period for the developer to fix whatever they need to fix. So right here, I have done up an Excel to do the breakdown of all the numbers. So between 2013 to 2016, the buyer actually took out 25%, as I mentioned earlier, to make down payment to the house, buyer stamp, and the loan is about $1 million. And of course, the next thing is buyer lawyer fee. So the interest from 2013 to 2016 before TOP is about $9,600 in total. Principal amount is about close to $17,000. So when the TOP in Q2 2016, once you collect your keys, this is the breakdown of the numbers. So I'm going to assume that the TOP for March, so interest subsequently from there, it'll be in 9 months. Then of course, when you collect your house, so the interest is $9,000. Then the next thing is when you collect your house, you have to do lighting and all the defect checks and everything. So this one, the cost is about $2,000. Then maintenance, I will assume every month about $350 for 9 months. So all in all, you can see the breakdown over here. So once the unit is ready, probably about in July, so it's about 3 months time now. So from July onwards, this is the rental breakdown. Because this is a dual key unit, there's 2 portions to this. Because on the caveat, if you see, right, for the 893 square feet unit, somehow there's one bedroom and there's another 3 bedroom. And 3 bedroom to be rented out at 2,600 is a bit cheap. The reason why is because one side is a 2 bedroom, one side is a studio. So the studio cheapest for the period is about $2,150. And of course, the 2 bedroom, I take the cheapest, 2,600. So you can see that after minusing all the fees and everything, the owner still made a decent profit for that year of close to $13,000. So this interest is based on 1.5%. So after 2016 is 2017. So from 2017 onward, that is where it's CSC, so it dispersed the full loan amount. So of course, then the interest will be much higher. Interest for the 2 years will be about $30,000, and then they pay about $53,000 to the mortgage amount. Maintenance the same, about $350 a month, multiplied by 2 years is $8,400. And you can see all in all the breakdown. Because once the project CSC, now you have to pay property tax. For property tax, there are 2 kinds. Owner occupied will be much cheaper, few $100s. But if you rent out, it'll be based on the annual fee of the condo. So how is annual fee determined is based on the rental rates. So in this case, I'm going to assume property tax to be about $2,000 a year. So for 2 years, it's $4,000. And then the next thing is that you have to pay income tax, which is something that a lot of people don't factor in. Income tax is very subjective because it is based on how much do you actually make. So I'm going to assume for this buyer, he makes more than $120,000. So the bracket between $120,000 and above is 15%. So 15% based on the rental, after minusing all the costs and everything, it is it is close to $10,000. So for that year, for that 2 years, the owner made about $56,000 in yield. Of course, from there, you can see that actually the loan starts to drop as well. So from 2019 to 2020, the interest rate increased. So for that period of time, the interest was between 2 to 2.8, 2.4, 2.6%. So so I'm just going to take in between interest to be 2.2%. So you can see that between the 1.5% and 2.2% for 2 years, the interest difference is $10,000. It could be more, but for my case, I'm just assuming I do a refinance. So when you pay more towards interest, of course, everything else is the same: maintenance fee, rental, agent fee, property tax. But of course, because the interest has increased, the income tax you pay is lesser. So for that year, 47,000. So from 2020 onwards, right, actually because of COVID and everything, 2021, interest has dropped. And because from that time, previously, SIBOR, we changed to SORA. So interest was much, much, much lower. So at 1.3%, you can see that actually we make quite a bit more money because now the yield is about 60,000. Of course, you pay more towards income tax. But because this project already is about 5 to 6 years old, we have to factor in another thing: repairs. For example, if the aircon spoil, the oven, the fridge, because it's a tenanted unit, so it tends to wear down faster. So for these 2 years, I factor in a repair into the calculation as well. Then after 2022, that's where interest start to increase again. So at the start of 2023, it was 3%. Of course, now if you look at things, it'll be close to 4 for floating rates. So at 3.5% interest because the owner sold the unit in this year, March. So from 2023 to March this year is about 15 months. So 15 months interest is about $36,000. Rental is not 2 years, this is 15 months. So for 15 months, this is the amount that the owner will receive. After calculating everything, he still owes the bank about $820,000. So I'm going to collate everything and show you. For his selling price, you can see from the caveat, it is $1.234 million. So when he sells, there's another two costs involved. Number one is lawyer fee. Number two is agent fee. So for agent fee, I'm going to assume at 2% plus GST, which is close to $27,000. When you add everything together, right, the money that he put in is close to $860,000. But the money that he get back from the rental and selling the property, everything, he got $870,000. So he actually still make a bit of money, $11,000. Of course, this 11,000 is really not a profit. But at the end of the day, when he sells his property, he did not make a loss, which is very important. So it really depends when you buy a property, what do you really seek out of it? Because some people think that, I buy a property for 3 years, I sell, I make money. But sometimes it might not be the case. Like for example, this property. But the thing is that if you choose the right property with rental, you can cover back your loss. So the longer you hold, the more likely you will cover back all your losses from the property if the price drop. But of course, I'm not saying that all properties will be like that. This is only one example, and there could be more properties where the outgoing costs are actually more than your rental. So if you have any questions on your existing property or you're thinking of investing, you can sit down and have a coffee and let me understand on what are your goals, because every scenario is different. This brings back to what I want to say, because if today you are still sitting on the fence deciding what to do, this is an opportunity cost wasted. You can wait 1 year, 2 years, 3 years for the potentially best product out there in the market. But the problem is that the demand will be very high as well, because there's also this chance that the developer will sell at a higher price. Or if the demand is too high, a lot of people will be balloting for the project. Then what happens if you miss out on that particular project? If your dream is to own a property, then it is better to set a timeline and decide what is the best product out there for you at that point of time. Of course, if you are thinking in the form of investment, then keeping your money in CPF or stocks, ETFs, bonds might be better. But property is something that is more physical and is an asset that you can own.